comes to this defense, what are the characteristics that are going to separate it from the rest of the league when it all kind of comes together?
I think we're able to do a lot of different things. I think the coaches do a good job of putting together a scheme where they can teach it the right way, and the young guys kind of get it, and the older guys try and lead by example and piggyback off of the coaches. That way, now that we're in camp, we kind of everybody knows what to do, and we got this thing rolling a little bit.
How is Paul Gunther as a teacher? Is he pretty good at kind of expressing?
Definitely, probably the best, one of the best around that I've been in my 8 years. Just getting guys to understand, whatever their role is on this defense, or a certain coverage, or whatever scheme that it is. Probably the best that I've been around at getting guys to learn a scheme and learning how to and being able to teach it the right way.
He said he likes your knowledge of so many different positions, that he wants you to coach for him someday. Do you think that might be in your future?
I don't know. It may be one day, but right now I'm just trying to focus on making this team and trying to do whatever I can to compete.
What do you think about the coach saying that? That's kind of compliment, saying that you're smart enough to be a coach. Have you ever heard any coach say that to you, and what do you think when they say that?
Yeah, it's definitely flattering. It's definitely something that you want to hear. But it's one of those things where I just kind of try and keep my head down and just work.
Mark's in a league that phases out veteran players a lot. At least a lot of teams do. John, the first time he was here, and now again this time, brought a lot of guys in, 7, 8, 9-year veterans that pelts on the walls, so to speak, and he likes to have those guys in the meeting rooms. What have been your observations on the veterans that have brought in, and how this team kind of respects veteran players?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's a lot of veteran guys, but it's a lot of veteran guys that can still play ball.
Yeah.
And so I think we bring that aspect to the table, as well as the knowledge, and trying to get young guys and bring them along and try and teach them and help them as much as we can.
Is it challenging mentally that you could be playing safety one play, slot corner the next, and nickel backer the next, just kind of compartmentalizing all the different roles and the ways that you're used?
Honestly, I've kind of been doing it my whole career, so it's just natural. It's just it's like second nature to me.
The Raiders are coming off of a season in which they played under John Pagano. Obviously, you've played under Pagano. Does that familiarity that you have with what they just came from, does that help you in terms of speaking the same language on some of the stuff that these guys did last year?
Definitely. I think just being in my tenure in the league, just being able to play a lot of different stuff, it helps you be able to go on from next game to the next game. A lot of the schemes are different, but they're the same. The terminology is a little bit different, but a lot of the concepts of everything that you're trying to accomplish are a lot alike.
As a veteran leader, what have some of the guys been saying about that transition from last year's defense to this one? Has there been anything that guys have gotten hung up on at all?
No, it's just we just focus on this year, really. Just trying to take heed to whatever the coaches are trying to put in, and everybody's just trying to buy into this year.
How much teaching have you had to do being familiar with this defense?
It's still a different defense for me. I had to. It was a little bit of a learning thing for me too. But the coaches do a really good job, like getting guys to understand the defense and teaching guys. And I think we're just kind of like the second tier guys that if they have a question here and there that we can help.
I feel like the graduate instructor and the
Right,
coaches,
right,
the
right.
professors, like, well, here's how you do this.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Bruce was saying that big thing from last year to this year is that guys don't have to think as much. What facilitates that? What is it about this defense that allows you guys to just play free?
I can't speak for last year, but just like I was saying earlier, I think the coaches do a good job of teaching defense and putting guys in a position and helping guys understand what their role is and whatever it is the defense that we're doing, so it allows guys to play a little bit faster.
Garion's a little banged up right now, but obviously he has high expectations for himself. The Raiders have high expectations for him. Same thing for Rashawn Melvin. What do you see that in terms of that cornerback duo, what it could be this season?
Both very talented guys. You can see it when we go out there and we do drills, and then we get in team drills and stuff like that. So, guys are just out there working hard and it's just competing. And that's what all our guys. Everybody's competing.
Anything strike you about Garion? Anything strike you about Garion?
Yeah, just a very athletic guy, and to be a young guy, he understands ball. understands splits, he understands routes, he understands combinations and stuff like that. So he's a young guy, but you can tell that he's got football knowledge.
Braden's fond of talking with his defensive coordinator before practice, and they formulate this plan about what they're going to do against each other, and then they deviate from it. They kind of try and trick each other, and they try and foster an offense versus defense thing. Can you see that here more than maybe other places you've been, that the competition at practice to try and beat the other unit is pretty keen here?
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it's kind of like it's always been a thing, but I think more so because of the connection that those guys have, and I think those guys are really close. So being that they're really close, I think they compete a lot, and it trickles down to the players, and it makes us even more competitive.
It's obviously important for safety to be on the same page. How is that level of communication going with Reggie and with Carl, and how do you kind of build that chemistry, because you guys have to be ready to go in less than a month?
I think it just takes repetition. It takes being with a guy. I think we all kind of know each other now. Sometimes where I may do something and they can play off of it, and somebody else may do something and we know how to play off of it now. I think we've gotten to the point now where, it's just that repetition has created a little bit more chemistry each and every day.
What have you seen from Nick Nelson? He's just 3 days in, but he missing the off season. Finally getting the chance to get in here and run around with you guys. What have you seen from him?
Another same thing I would say like about Gary on. You can tell he understands ball. Like it's tough to come in this league and play in the nickel position with all of the different things that you have to be able to read and have to be able to cover and have to be able to be in the run fits. And you can just tell by the way he diagnoses plays that he has an understanding of being able to play the game.
Does it come to you much for advice of any kind, being that you play the nickel and all these other positions?
Most definitely, yeah. But he's a quiet guy, but you can tell he wants to know a lot he wants to learn a lot, because he'll ask questions, not even just to the players. He asks a lot of questions to coaches in the team room and all that type of stuff.